Ooh, hair.
Austedo XR can cause depression, suicidal thoughts, or actions in patients.
What's up, y'all? Welcome in. It's another race, another Vegas qualifying coming at you. They're in actually practice round number 2, the B drivers. So let's get to the main page already and let's get going as we're going to join practice and then we're going to do qualifying right after that. So appreciate all being here. Thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight as we got this and the Xfinity race after this. So let's get to it.
Check right rear motor. Sorry.
Let's go Denny into the wall.
Got a little bit free and then just lost the nose. I got too high.
Yeah, looks to me like it bent the right rear toe link too. That right rear was towed out. It got into it pretty hard.
Well, here's your point leader.
Welcome in,
Kyle
everybody.
Busch, for the first time since winning his Cup championship,
Kyle
he
Busch
is the leader of the NASCAR Cup Series on points.
Rowdy,
First time RCR has been in the points lead in a long time too. I mean, I think back Austin Dillon when he won his 500, but even before then, it's been a long time since they've been on top of that leaderboard. Looks good on them.
Well, you see Kyle go through the middle of turns 1 and 2, and that has definitely been the preferred line for the whole field. And a lot of times that's a choice by the teams to say, hey, let's run up a lane so that we can run the car lower and not go over the bumps on the bottom. Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch's teammate.
So Group B drivers shown in white on our
T-Man,
scoring
right,
pylon.
what's up, Jake?
We were
What's
saying
going
before
on
the
too,
break,
man?
Group A drivers at most tracks last year were at a disadvantage. The top 5 would make it to the final round, and the rest would end up deep in the pack because the speeds in Group B tended to be faster. Great article on NBCSports.com by Dr. Deandra about the whole qualifying thing, and the inequities of the system as it was employed this year, last year. This year, new system, and one that's going to be much fairer, because once the 10 make it to the final round, everybody else gets seeded according to how they are in their group. The Group A drivers will line up in the outside lane for the start of the race. Group B drivers on the inside lane, instead of combining the times from the two. So
well, and to your point, Chase Briscoe, who we're on board here with, is also the fastest, but that's his time
that like button,
right there in seventh.
And when 50 at least.
He's the fastest in this group, and that's 0.3 different than the first group, and that's exactly what we were talking about in the first session. Those cars were going to be a lot faster because the track's greener, but once this rubber goes on the racetrack, the lap times just slow down, and this group
Chase
is more
Briscoe
realistic with what it's going to be like in the race, and that's why I always like going in Group B, no matter what the metrics say or anything like that. I knew what my teammate's car was doing.
I like that point right there.
It just made me a lot more comfortable, and this is not a comfortable racetrack. And these guys are doing it for the first time this year. And the speed is high. The corner speeds are high. It's rough and a very technical racetrack with the fall-off and everything that happens. So, to me, I always wanted to be in Group B. And I think today, being that it's 0.3 of a second different, is going to give you a much better read on your car. And they haven't had a caution yet to break this session up and cycle the tires. So, in my opinion, these guys are getting a better idea of what their car is going to do on a long run and a short run.
Yeah, that cycle on the tires is a big thing for all of these guys. A lot better read on their tires from behind the wheel. A lot better read on their tires when they get in and get that tire read. You know, through the
What's up, Dallas? What's
the
going
tire
on?
guy. Not only air pressure buildups, but the wear as well.
well, everybody's looking at Hendrick Motorsports, and particularly Kyle Larson, the success that he has had on this racetrack since joining Rick Hendrick. HMS has 9 Las Vegas wins, and last year swept the race and all the stages. 3 spring race wins in a row.
Well,
pretty much taking care of business right there.
Much tells part of the story, and so do our scoring monitors
Thank you
here.
for subscribing.
Kyle Larson's
Appreciate
at the
that.
top of the most best consecutive 5-lap average.
Thank you.
The best consecutive 10-lap average, and I would assume that he's going to be somewhere near the top on 15 if he decides to stay out there that long.
He's just not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, fast race cars, his teammate right behind him, William Byron.
What's up, James Moore? The 6
Right, now,
has
the driver
to have
who
better
is
luck.
second
Exactly.
in the best consecutive 15 laps of this practice is with Jamie.
And that's Bubba Wallace. What a start to the season. He's the only driver that has finished in not only the top 10, but the top 5, both races. So, Bubba, how do you take that momentum, that confidence that you guys are building into a place like this, the bread and butter of the series?
Yeah, I'm going to use the motivation from last night. Oh, Raja getting the job done. That was awesome. Got me excited to get in the car and try to
What's up, Link?
one-up him. I don't know how
Kim,
I'm going
what's
to do
going
that.
on?
But so proud of him. But yeah, it's good to get to a 1.5 mile, first one of the year for us. Toyotas are strong. The first group is stacked, so we're all going against ourselves here. Got to be better than them, but our Columbia Toyota Camry is pretty strong. I was a little loose to start, tightened it up a little too much, so we're kind of finding in the middle, but she's fast, so got to take care of it. The bumps are treacherous. This place will scare the hell out of you if you're not ready for it.
Congratulations last night. He's been a mentor to Raja Caruso, so that was a big moment for Bubba and everybody involved with Raja last night, Mike.
Well, and you called it, Jamie. It was a big night for the 71, the 21-year-old Winston-Salem
last night. Who was with us last night?
University
The ones that are
senior
here. Who was
won
with
the
us last
pole
night watching the
and
trucks?
won the Craftsman truck race last night here.
Big race for him, big race for all of us. I mean, him
up,
being
D?
behind
What's
the wheel
going
of
on?
that race truck, the Hendrick, and being underneath the Hendrick umbrella, Kevin, that's a huge opportunity for him, and he's knocking it out of the park so
Ellie,
far.
what's up? How you doing? Go Denny.
Raja was scheduled to do 10 races under Hendrick's sponsorship, and after last week's performance,
Chris
they
Buescher
expanded
so
that to
far.
the full season.
Working? Oh, that sucks. Well, thanks for popping in.
9.5 minutes to go in Group B practice. Then we'll get set for qualifying.
All right, appreciate y'all hanging out here. We're in Group B practice right now, and then we'll get to qualifying. Appreciate the ones that have just showed up. Thanks for hitting the like button for us. My name is CeeLo. We've been doing NASCAR since the Daytona 500 Speed Weeks, and we're bringing you qualifying in just a little while after qualifying is over. About an hour and a half or so after qualifying is over, we're going to be bringing you the live coverage of the Xfinity race too as well. So we'll have that linked in there as well. So So glad for you guys to be here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and become a member so you can have some cool emojis for this weekend. Ronnie was here last night. Yes, sir. We have some cool emojis for this weekend for the Cup Series. Here are the drivers. If you're one of your favorite drivers in here, make sure you're becoming a member so you can use these emojis during the race and have support your driver. It's a little fun, a little more putting it in there, but we appreciate y'all hanging out here tonight, and it should be fun together with today. Go Fords. There you go. So we added another emoji, and Eric Church is one of our members. He requested the 54. He's a big Ty Gibbs fan. So there you go, Eric Church. If you're here yet, if you're listening, there's their 54. And D's dropping the 19, the 9, and the 8. So all his favorite drivers right there. So if you become a member, you get to use that stuff. And then if you're not a mod, your name becomes green. And you're eligible for other things than just emojis if you're in certain categories. So if you guys would like to become a member, that's awesome. We've had a lot. We've got, I think, 40 or members now. So that's awesome too. So, and everything goes back to the channel. What's up, San Diego Kid? Go Chevys for Hendrick. What's going on, man? Ingrid Thompson says the 12. Yeah, we got the 12. We got the 12 emoji as well. There it is. And and I get them off the colors off the cars of the week. So it's a current color of what it is this week. So looks good too. The qualifying will be starting right after 2. We'll be bringing you the live audio as we always do. Nice and crystal clear. Not off a phone or anything like that. So, but right now, Chastain the fastest. Noah Gregson there at 10. They were talking about him being a local boy performing. Like Ty Gibbs there in 54. Tyler Reddick, Denny Hamlin. So the Toyotas, look at those Toyotas in the top 6. It's crazy. But thanks, guys, for coming in here on the go at CeeLo. And we're going back to it.
Lap averages. 5 laps, Larson Byron. 10 laps, Larson Byron. 15 laps, Larson Byron. Gregson and Reddick third in those categories.
All right, Mike, you asked me at the top of the show coming on, who to keep an eye on. We knew that William Byron and Kyle Larson were going to be fast. They were last year. Looks like they picked up right where they left off. Look at 23:11 on that best consecutive 15. Right behind them, Reddick and Wallace. And then right shortly behind them, Kyle Busch. I told you, keep an eye on Chase Elliott. Let's see what he can do. Can he match the speed in those race cars? He's close, but still has some work to do.
You're right. And when we look at these charts,
Raj,
and
big
Kyle
win,
Larson
his first
and everything
ever,
he does,
awesome.
he talks about being able to run that car freer. But when you look at the lap count, that tells you who's comfortable in their car. And Alex Bowman has only run 11 laps compared to his teammates who are out there had have run consecutively over 20.
Who's missing in this? Who's missing in this conversation?
Well, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Austin Cindric, Brad Keselowski. All Mustangs.
And that's some big name Ford name drivers, and they're all
says the 45.
I'm going to tell you that Logano is probably their best car in 18th. Flip side of that is you see Michael McDowell in that
Kenneth
front
Clark,
row
what's up,
motorsport
man?
still running pretty good. Had 2 good races so far. I think that progression and momentum is going to carry on.
Well, we see Blaney
How
pop
did the
up
12
in the
Ford
15-lap average and the 20-lap average. So Blaney's third in the 20-lap average and 8th in the 15, which that's good. And usually these guys, especially from the Ford camp, it seems like they pick up when it comes to qualifying time.
He might have not practiced.
If that can happen today.
And on the downside, Harrison Burton, something wrong with the Wood Brothers car. They're half a second off, and they've had the car jacked up looking for answers there. Todd Gilliland got up into the wall. J.J. Yaley finally got on track for a couple of laps. They failed inspection twice, pre-practice inspection. And Larry, they went to, NASCAR went to eject the car chief on the number 44 for failing inspection twice. And what happened?
Wow.
They didn't have a car chief, so they ejected the crew chief.
Okay.
But he can still crew chief the Xfinity Series car that he's supposed to look after today.
Okay.
You got anything to do tomorrow, Larry?
I'm good. I'm good right here.
Okay.
Do you realize how much hairspray I'd have to use to keep this hair locked down out there?
We'd just get you a hat, Larry. I'm in the same, well, not necessarily the same boat, but Clint would make you think that I'm close.
All right, so here's Brad. He is 28th overall. Last lap, 30:41. Best lap, 29:95. And that's not good news. Coming in here, Brad Keselowski. Well, Let's have a look at the points and some of the fellows who are pleasant surprises.
Cedric's
early
at
on
third in the
season.
points. Wow.
And
These are
here's
the
the
guys
other
that-
side of that
yeah.
coin.
Logano
These guys are in a
31st.
big hole,
And Keselowski
when you look at
33rd
Joey
in the
Logano
points.
and
He's gotta
Austin
get a
Dillon
win.
and Brad Keselowski, those are the guys that we really need to see something good out of this weekend to start to dig out of that hole. They'll tell you it's only 2 weeks, but that's a lot of points and a long ways behind in a hurry.
And Tyler Reddick's
Just
on
some
that list,
bad
but he's
luck.
got speed here. He's going to be
Yes.
fine here.
Yeah, that's why I didn't mention him.
I think
Yeah.
he can get right back in the
Jason,
game
what's
this
going on?
weekend, as a
That's
matter of
getting
fact. Only
super
16
nitpicky with
points
this
behind
Formula One
16th
stuff.
place.
I
That's
know.
doable this weekend. Austin Dillon, that poor guy. It's a handful
Most of her in
laps. He's
13.
been in both
Yeah,
cautions
looking
so
good.
far. Just got caught up in some bad
Now, this isn't
scenarios.
qualifying.
Need
This
to
is
get things turned
practice.
around here.
Practice.
With the speed those RCR cars have, he just may do.
This is not qualifying. We got about 3 minutes left of this session, and then the qualifying happens.
Joey Logano's had a fast car both weeks. Has little to show for it in the final result.
He's been in the shop, though. You keep knocking on that door, she'll open.
Well, that's a whole different game this
What's
week.
up, Jason?
You know, with the type of racetrack that we're on,
see
and
here,
the,
my
and the-
friend.
and the rules package and everything is different than we ran at Daytona and Atlanta. And those guys are good to go at those racetracks. They don't have anything to show for it, but sometimes those are just the circumstances. But it's like we talked. You
15
gotta
laps
you
average.
gotta have it figured out here because this is an important piece to the puzzle
About
to be
that.
able to put your season together appropriately.
And Logano, Larry reminds me, has not scored.
Look at
a
that
single
LaJoy. I
stage
think that's
point.
wrong. I think that's a
And
typo.
you know, when stage racing first came about,
163.
he didn't put much thought
Unless he
into
was,
stage
he
points
took a
early
pit
in
and he
the
never
season. That
crossed
kinda
the
take care of
line.
himself. And then Martin Truex goes on a tear and runs the table for stage points. And now everybody, beginning with Daytona, is looking at how important those stage points are with trying to make the playoffs. And
Mindful of 2 wild card starts to this year, right? 2 super speedways to start off the year throws everything for a frenzy. When we come here to Las Vegas, now we're down to business. You're going to see the consistency start showing up within these stage points, within the organization.
real
We'll
season
be able to
starts
get a
right
good
now.
feel
Thank you for
the
those
speed
subscribes,
in
too,
each
guys.
organization and furthermore the teams within. So I'm looking hard to the stage points for sure this weekend, who can earn them, and then where you can seal the deal with a finish at the end.
Well,
It's
as
like
we watch
25
William Byron
mile an
go around
hour.
the racetrack here. The one thing I
25
will
mile
tell
an
you
hour.
about those guys
Not-
that are in
not
trouble
gusts,
with points, it
but
becomes annoying because after
to
a few
get,
races,
like a-
right now they go off of last year's points, but those guys that
Does
are
anyone
buried
have
in
a
the
20
points,
lap
next thing you
average?
know, they got to go through inspection late. They got to, if it
So that's
rains,
it.
you're going to
Well,
have
I mean,
a bad
they're
starting
showing you
spot.
right
So
there
there's
is
a
like
lot of things that
22
just become
laps.
annoying for the team. It's not that they can't dig themselves out of a hole, but on board
And they're
with
just
Corey
doing
LaJoy
in the
here,
one.
and
The
you see
first
him
column is
working
how
that
fast
wheel,
they were going right
through
now.
turns 1 and 2, and he's going to go down here. We're going to use this
And
sign hanging over the
Chastain's
racetrack
gone
as our
22
lift
laps.
point. Head to the
Ty
bottom
Gibbs
of the
has done
racetrack, and
26.
he's up higher than he wants to be out of the throttle, coming into pits.
this is the first time in Corey's career that he's had 2 consecutive top 15 finishes.
Off to a great start.
Yep.
You see him practicing that coming into the pits, pretty charged pretty hard there down through the gearbox. Very important. Do not get caught speeding in a green flag pit stop.
Let's go,
It will ruin
Bell.
your day.
He had a bad luck last
John
night,
Hunter
didn't he?
Nemechek's got
He
he's got
finished
caught
fifth,
up in some
though.
incidents.
He was
but
coming.
Unlike, say, Joey Logano, his finishes are not indicative of that. He's been able to
Oh, who
salvage
has the
a couple of
fastest
good
after
days
20
here.
hours? Let's see.
Very good days in these first 2
Best
races.
time,
Yeah,
29,
Not
3.
really knocking on the door.
So
of the
it's
front there,
Chastain,
but was able to
29.305.
capitalize on everybody's mishaps. He was able to get the solid finish
And
has
the best
solidified
speed.
him in a good start points wise.
4.
Well, sometimes you just gotta
Chastain
survive,
all
Clint.
around.
You just got to keep yourself in the
The
game.
one.
If you're scoring points and doing everything that you need to do to put yourself in a position from a point standpoint, sometimes that's what you have to do if you don't have the speed.
Austin Cindric might have had the best car last week at Atlanta. He certainly made the boldest moves. That 4 wide on the bottom, that one's going to stick with me for a long time. All right, practice is over. Ross Chastain fastest, qualifying. Coming right up.
All right. Practice is over. Chastain was the fastest, 20 laps or so they ran. It's like Byron rode 29 laps. 29 laps for Byron. Anybody else ride any longer? Byron rode the longest. It looks like 29 laps for Byron. But there is that. So there's your practice times. And if you're not familiar with the qualifying schedule, everybody runs 2 laps. And then the top 10 will move into round 2, and that's how they'll pick our pole setter. And then we'll do it from there. How about that number 1? That's right. Eagle should be 189.534 miles per hour, Jason says. Might be Watermelon's week. We'll see. We'll see. You never know. So we got one fast Chevy, one fast Ford, and then the Toyotas. So now there's going to be the qualifying. So Noah Gregson's going to go out first. So what you were listening to was practice, and now we're moving into qualifying. So I'm also working on the Xfinity cars here, so we have those on the screen. Make sure you tune in right after this, probably an hour or so after this. We're going to have the Xfinity race right here on the channel, so make sure you guys subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Dallas says, if you don't drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. That's right. Yeah. Old school, Dallas. Old school country. That's funny. If you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl. So just waiting on. Make sure you're hitting that like button, y'all. We're trying to get to, see if we can get 100 likes. Can we get 100 likes? Can we do it? We're at 35. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes on this qualifying stream. We did it last time, so I know we can do it. So keep hitting that like button for us. 130 people are here right now. We can get some more folks in here during qualifying. That's right, Ingrid. If you're watching on Facebook or Twitter or Twitch, what's going on? How you doing? You can talk in your chat. I can see you talk to us if you're there. Give the Facebook stream a like as well. That helps the algorithm big time. So
he'll be next to last to go in Group A in this qualifying session. Just like practice, the field split in half due to the metric. Ross fastest in Group A, Chase Briscoe fastest in Group B. And the new procedure this year.
Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate
just like
that.
Last year,
David Johnson, appreciate you.
Advanced to the final round.
Thank you for subscribing.
The new procedure shown in yellow in this graphic. The Group A drivers from 6th on back will line up in the outside lane for the race, and Group B will line up in the inside lane from 6 through 20.
What is up with that?
In qualifying, other than the final round, you're only
so
competing against the drivers.
It's like the twin 125s, but you're not.
Much fairer way to set the grid than what we had previously.
I agree, Mike.
Oh, that's different.
And I think that's a good change. And so here we go.
Did y'all hear that?
For the driver's side of what you do, Noah Gragson is the first car out. And in this car, you don't want to overdrive the entry. So that'll be the first thing that we're looking for. The speed comes from a little bit, they aren't using the brake, but it's going to come from more throttle. So coming to the green, what did I do in practice? What is my grip level? How much can I get away with? And then it's going to be a building block from the time Noah goes until the rest of the field goes as to what I can and can't do and what the grip level is on the track.
One thing I liked about Noah and his speed, right? His takeoff speed is there. We saw that on the sheet, but it got too tight too quick. We heard him complaining on the radio, boys, I need a little bit of help. I look for this car the way it's trimmed out to show some speed here in qualifying.
A little change here. Note the dark horse in the center of the Mustang grille. It is not as dark as it was in the previous 2 weeks. We talked about that. Last year they had the big blue oval on the hood of the Mustang and a chrome horse. The dark horse, nope, has none of that. Everything's all black. Well, let's just bring it out just a little so everybody can notice it.
Well, it looked mean. It certainly... It fit the mold, right? It is a dark horse. She's bad to the bone looking, but lighten it up a little bit so you can see that old pony on the grill. I think this.
Where are the Hondas at? That's right, Patrick.
The
2 more years.
Can he keep that pace up in
26
the long run?
And we just had a sandstorm blow up the backstretch from turn 2 to turn number 3. Wind gusts today expected up to 60 miles an hour. In 2020, qualifying was canceled here due to rain. It never rains in Vegas. And in 2016, we had a sandstorm during the race. What a place. Jamie.
Wild weather in the desert, I tell you, Mike, and it is very gusty out here. Michael McDowell, though, you guys mentioned it, Clint, you talked about the season that he's off.
On the pole last week, first time ever.
The last 2 races. So what do you expect here at Las Vegas?
Well, we definitely have a little bit of work to do on our Love's RV Stop Dark Horse Mustang. Just getting the balance right. I think the potential's there.
Matthew?
Just missed the balance a little bit. But right now, you need a lot of confidence to go out there and try to hold it wide open. It's fast here at Las Vegas. It's a lot of fun. But, yeah, definitely one of those places that still takes your breath away, especially for this one, hopefully 2 laps in qualifying.
All right, good to see you. Good luck.
Well, he's got a full load of confidence, and why not? Look at what they
No, they have
done
not.
So
They have
far
not.
this year. 2 front row starts for Michael McDowell.
They have not started
including
yet.
the pole at Atlanta, his first ever.
Cal B fan.
And Todd Gilliland has led more than any other driver this season.
Todd was so impressive last week in Atlanta, leading all those laps. Looked really good. Both those cars very strong so far on those super speedways.
So what's different? Front Row Motorsports is now a Tier 1 Ford team, along with Penske and along with Stewart Haas and Roush Fenway Keselowski. And what does that mean to be a Tier 1 team?
It means all of the data, all the information, all the things that you learn, it's just a little easier now. Some of that stuff just comes a little bit more readily available. Right, Kevin?
Well,
All
they've
right,
earned
Group
it.
A,
and
here we
that's by
go.
their performance
Noah
and the things
Gragson.
that they do. And that's going to help them go down the road, and whether it's simulator time or
Best
whatever,
finish in
whatever
Vegas,
you need from a
11th.
support standpoint from Ford, you're going to have it.
Well, the depth. A smaller organization like that with 2 cars just doesn't have the depth, the overall depth within the manpower behind those 4 race cars and some of the 4-car teams. That being said, getting to a tier level 1 team.
How do you feel
get that
about the
data.
Braves this year? I think we'll be all right.
acquire the depth
I think
that
we're going
you
to do really
need
good.
That you're lacking.
Noah Gregson, first driver on the clock.
Curious
The Las
about
Vegas
the
native
pitching.
finished
That's as
11th
it's
here
been
in
all last
2012.
year.
And times in at
So Gregson there.
29.79, Larry.
29.79.
Yeah, Drew Blickensderfer, crew chief for Noah Gragson, told him we don't need to overdo
Lopez,
it
I
here.
guess,
He
looked
warned him
pretty good
about
during
that
spring training
sandstorm
today,
that went
but we'll
down the
see.
back straightaway. He said, we're going to take a hit being the first car out. Just take what it'll give you. Don't overdo it.
It's spring training,
Right,
though,
Zane
right?
Smith
It's
next
just
up.
like that.
It's going to be interesting. That was quite a bit slower on Noah's lap than he
Zane
was in
Smith
his
got about a
posted his
car
fast lap
length
in
on
practice.
Gregson
See if
here.
Everybody follows suit with that.
Yeah, more than 0.3 of a second off. First Cup start for Smith at Vegas. He finished top 10 in 4 of his 6 truck races here. Second last year. And he's
So
quicker,
Zane Smith on the pole
29.62.
all right, so far.
Well, and that
Keep
goes
hitting
right
that
back
like
to what we
button
talked
for
about
us.
earlier, guys, that racetrack being clean and giving you a false read on your car. We saw Noah come in, didn't like his car during practice, and then he goes back out and slows down 0.3, and Zane goes out and picks up a little bit from practice.
Tyler
So
Reddick now on that
Listen to
monster
the commitment here. Listen to his
beast.
throttle. Sawing on that wheel, but didn't lift off that
beast.
pedal much. Didn't sound like to me.
Oh my! And that's why you hear all these drivers talk about
He's
the
got
commitment. Let's listen
Zane
again.
Smith by about a half a car length.
Had to breathe a little bit. And look, Zane came right back to him a little bit, but he was able to keep it lower off the corner.
So far, Reddick still
Tyler
got
Reddick,
it,
top 10 in 4 of his last 5 starts.
and he
here,
gets it by a half a car
29.58.
length.
Yeah, and he actually
400ths of a second.
he actually slows down from his practice time. So that goes right in line with what we were talking about with the racetrack. And even in race trim, they were faster than what they're running on their
Oh,
qualifying
here comes
time
Christopher
right now.
Bell. Let me see those 20s
And we
in the
expect
chat.
most of these Group A drivers would. They
20s
went
in
out
the
quickly,
chat,
busted off
y'all.
a couple of quick
Christopher
laps,
Bell
fastest of the
time.
session. But here is Christopher Bell, top 5 in his last 2 races here. Was second here last fall. He's a 2-time pole winner here.
Look at this. Rolled through 1 and 2. Quite a bit better than Reddick.
Bell.
Another Toyota. Bell. Really good racetrack for Christopher Bell here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, he did. He looked good. Eli
Same
White
thing
looks
in 3
good
and
too.
4. Great lap.
Great lap for
29.37.
Christopher Bell. 29.373.
Drops the fast time, another 2
Here's
tenths.
Josh Berry.
Big
Let's see
pickup
Josh
from where
Berry.
he
Let me
was
see
in
those
practice,
4s
Kevin.
in the chat.
Those guys have done such a good job in qualifying and have a number of poles and look to be on that same trend this year.
Josh Berry.
Josh Berry has 2 Xfinity wins here. For Stewart Haas. Actually, those wins were for Junior Motorsports, but
too high.
racing here for Stewart
Two
Haas.
things I saw right there. Obviously, the lift. You see the gap, the separation. The Bell was able to pull ahead there, but the point.
Christopher
Kevin, he
Bell
lost
got
the
him on
point in
this
the race
one.
car. You could see the nose take off on him is why he had to lift.
Yeah, that second seam in
Dakota
turns
dropping
1 and
the
2
4.
is- you don't
Kyle
want to be above
B
that.
fan
You want
dropping
to be right
as well.
in between those seams. You never want to get hung on a seam and you got beat all the way around the racetrack.
Looked like the exact same thing down in 3 and 4. The point, he just wasn't pointed down the racetrack. Car looked tight to me.
All right, Ryan Preece will not qualify. Got up and into the wall early in the practice session. This is Eric Jones, who has 3 8th-place finishes here.
Eric Jones. I mean, those 43s.
Jones won a truck race here in 2014.
Or it says too many people talk at the same time. I don't know. I'll quiet it up.
Eric Jones 3rd. So bumping begins now after 5. Josh Berry
Hocevar
is on the hot seat.
Carson Hocevar.
Carson Hocevar, the rookie.
Yeah, we see Carson go below the apron coming to the green, and sometimes that is a distance game. As we see right here, he's in front of Noah Gragson before he even gets to the line because of the distance that he covered down the front straightaway. And if all those guys are paying attention on pit road, they'll realize that they need to come to the green on the apron for just
Daniel,
for pure distance.
Love what you said right there, and you're exactly right. Look how much better it rolled through the corner than Noah's car too, but he made a difference. That was a heads-up move by him dipping down there, and you guarantee exactly what you just said. Every team was paying attention to that and will follow suit.
Hocevar looked good. Look at second place for Hocevar.
That bumps Josh Berry. Zane Smith on the bubble as Daniel Hemrick comes on track. 3 Cup starts here.
Right after this.
He has runner-up finishes here in both trucks and Xfinity.
And Larry just made a great point. Hocevar, he was the only car so far that's held it wide open coming to the green. So that's the other thing that these guys on pit road will notice. But they're gaining their courage by somebody else trying it. So once somebody holds it wide open coming to the green, if you want to have a chance, you're going to have to do it.
Get that baby wound up. Make the track as big as possible. Get it wound up. We see it at Daytona. Saw it last week at Atlanta. You know, the job that you do inside the car coming to the green, creating that momentum inertia is very important.
All right, we're midway through Group A qualifying in Las Vegas.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'll try not to talk as much as they do. I'll try to plan it where I'm, but I'll let you know who's on the track, and I'll give you my stuff as well. So do apologize if I talk over too much during the time. I try to figure out when to talk and when I can't talk so you guys can hear the audio as well. But make sure you're hitting that like button, y'all. 200 and some here. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes for a qualifying stream, as we've done pretty well. We're at 47, so we're about halfway there. So hit that like button. Subscribe is the most important part. We're trying to get to 10K, and our logo for the month is March to 10K. And that's right, we're in the month of March, and we're marching to 10K. So thank you, Kyle B. fan, for subscribing. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. As we're going to be bringing you the Xfinity race right after this. I'll have the link to the Xfinity race in the actually, I'll go ahead and put that in there now. 1 second, y'all, so you can have that ready so you guys can go over there and be waiting on it when we go live. But right now, just a commercial with coming up. Ryan Preece did not qualify. He hit the wall during practice, so he's probably going to be at the very back of the field. Kaz Gralla will be back on the track here in a second. There'll be Denny Hamlin, Michael McDowell. Let's see here. But thanks, guys, for tuning in here tonight. We're going to be bringing the Xfinity race. Hope you were with us at the truck race. We did the truck race yesterday, and it was a lot of fun last night. Congratulations to Caruth. He's now the new first winner ever for himself. First career win for that 71 last night. He was happy, wasn't he? So hold on a second. Let me get this link here for you. Already got some good likes over there. Make sure you're going over there and give it a like so it's good to go. So we're set up for the rest. Here is the Xfinity Series stream after qualifying. I hear it's coming back here in just a second, y'all. Thank you for that subscribe, Patrick.
Ross Chastain, Daniel Suarez.
I love all that Kubota stuff, Mike.
You think they got enough identity in that car?
Yes, I could tell that he is a Kubota guy this week.
Overkill, Clint.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Bram.
All right, qualifying continues.
Ramusi.
Has Gralla in the number 15, making his 10th Cup start and his first at Las Vegas, where he had a top 5 in the Truck Series in 2017. We'll compare him to Zane Smith, who is the bubble car,
same.
5th in Group A.
Looks like everybody, for the most part, is choosing that middle lane in 1 and 2 so far,
Lots of
Kevin.
subscribers there.
Yeah, and that's really just because of the fact that the bumps are smoother right there. And in qualifying, there's so much speed, and we see the commitment to the throttle being almost wide open, if not wide open. So knowing that
Chase,
yeah,
those bumps are so aggressive that the shorter way around is just not the fastest way around.
that's right. You want to set the car lower, as low as you can, and if the bumps are a little harsher on the bottom of the racetrack, so you can't set the car as low down there. So everybody just chooses the middle because they can run the car lower.
I think it's a safer bet too. You know, even if you get down through the bottom, the juice may not be worth the squeeze. If that thing bounces and comes out from underneath that, you have to lift. It's over.
All right, keep an eye on Denny Hamlin here as he
Denny,
tries to break into
baby.
the Fast 5, the 2021 winner.
And that's super.
We've noted
sports
that these
clips.
Toyotas mean business.
Toyota.
His teammate Christopher Bell is already very fast.
Missed the bottom a little bit right there, and
Sure
just going to
did.
have to wait on the throttle.
Look at how bad it hurt him off of 4 coming to the green, all the way to the green, or checkered, excuse me.
And he will not advance to the final round.
That was all in the middle of 3 and
So
4.
it's 5
You
and
were all
5.
over it,
So
Kevin.
Denny's not going to get the pole.
What happens here, you get through 1 and 2, you're like, man, it's got so
top
much
5
grip,
from
and
both
the wind is blowing
get
towards
in the
turn
top
3,
10.
and you get a little overzealous getting in there and not getting out of the throttle enough, and the car never makes it to the bottom.
Hey, and it could have been.
CeeLo, what's
it
up,
may
Zeke?
not have been the same. When you're talking about a 65 mile an hour gust of wind, maybe it wasn't that way the last time he came through.
Well, we see Michael McDowell use that low apron strategy coming to the green. We would assume that he's probably wide open too, but you see the difference that it makes and carries that extra mile per hour that he has gained, probably being
they were on
close
last
to,
night,
if
Zeke.
not wide open, and
Last
the shorter
night.
distance, and he
Tonight's
just carried all the way
Xfinity.
around the racetrack. Looks like a good lap.
McDowell's worst start this year is 2nd. And there he is in
lots of
2nd
Toyotas.
place, knocking Zane Smith out of the Fast
Look
5.
at McDowell.
Really timed that well,
McDowell.
Another fast race car for Mike McDowell,
Here's
Front Row
Gibbs.
Motorsports.
Ty Gibbs, 3 Cup starts here. Won
Eric
an
Church's
Xfinity
boy.
race here in 2022. Top 10 at Atlanta last week.
Pretty fast in practice, so I think you're going to see the same speed out of this thing in qualifying trim.
We see the ghost car, Eric Jones. Let's give him a little credit. He was dead last in practice and picked up a ton of time. So this is going to be a huge improvement for them. But Ty Gibbs is obviously in front of him in 5th and continuing to make time through 3 and 4.
Wrap that bottom well, way into the green.
Thank you, Donald. Donald Trump
Gibbs
just liked the
makes it
stream on
4
Facebook.
Toyotas, make it 3 Toyotas in the top 5 as he bounces Jones. And Gibbs goes to the top of the chart.
That's funny.
And here comes another one. Teammate Martin Truex Jr. has it wound up on this outside. I think you're going to see him follow suit with his teammates.
Truex.
He didn't follow that
See
same
those
strategy coming to the
19s.
green on the apron.
And he wasn't necessarily fast in practice. His takeoff speed wasn't there. Some adjustments here. Look at this.
Yeah, I think that slow takeoff speed in practice, probably a little bit of experience, Clint, and just knowing what he wants to fill out and what he needs to do in the car, and not really worried about exactly what his car is doing, but he knows it's fast, and he is.
Never got to throw over your check for practice.
Nope.
And Truex is in. Third
Truex
fastest.
is in the
Jamie.
top 5.
Brad Keselowski getting ready to go out, and what a great place for him to turn this season around, a 3-time winner here. Brad, what do you think you have, if you know, for qualifying here?
We were real loose in practice, Jamie, but we've done some changes to the Salmon Plumbing Ford, tightened up a little bit, getting ready for this round. You got to commit. So you can't qualify fast in Vegas if you don't commit. So we'll see if my teammate sets a good benchmark to go chase.
All about the commitment, Mike. We're hearing that a lot.
Absolutely.
We were watching him following along in his in-car, and he was sawing on that
Aye,
wheel.
man.
You could tell, very nervous race car underneath him.
There's RFK
Well,
Racing.
here's his teammate Chris
Buescher,
Buescher, who
17.
finished 9th here in 2020. 9th in Atlanta last week.
Got a good lap going, and Brad is going to immediately get this information as to what Chris says on the radio and know that he had a good lap. And that's what we talked about with these Fords. They pick up a lot when they put them in qualifying trim compared to what they had in race trim.
Well, that baby certainly did.
Best lap so far for Chris Buescher. Bubba Wallace, only driver this year with top 5s in both of the first 2 races.
Him and his teammate had good long run speed. Top 10, top 15 was right there.
Bubba Wallace
until
trying to stay in that 5.
Byron and Larson, but I think these guys have some good cars underneath of them this weekend. Him and his teammate Reddick.
So remember, these drivers are only competing against the other drivers in Group A as Wallace edges ahead.
Ooh,
he's in.
We got in.
That line down at 3 and 4. All was picked up in 3 and 4.
Good job.
And that
Look at
knocks
those
Michael
Toyotas,
McDowell out of
man.
the top 10 for the first time this year.
Disciplined himself. Didn't overdrive
There's
that
the watermelon
entry,
friends.
kept it on
Let's
the
see
bottom,
any
and boy,
watermelons
did it
out
pay
there.
dividends on the exit.
Ross Chastain, no lift.
Big arc into the corner, but it didn't turn back down the hill for him, Kevin.
Yeah, it looked like he was, it didn't sound like he lifted at all. So there we go. Got that little lift like we've been talking about just to get the car to the bottom of the racetrack, and his went up the racetrack, so it tells me he's a little bit tight.
Definitely looks tight.
Wow.
Right for Chastain.
Fastest
So
in
Truex
practice.
holding on to the final
and
spot
he's not
with
going to make
one
the
driver
qualifying
to
for the
go
top 10.
in Group A, and that is last week's winner, Daniel Suarez.
Well, we just saw his teammate tight. Not enough time to get that information for him. The only thing you could do behind the wheel is just be disciplined, getting into the corner, don't overdrive your entry, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, and the one thing I don't like is if you notice that angle that he has getting into turn 1, it's like he's coming back up the hill where Truex was pointed in the right direction and coming down the hill. So definitely the car is not pointed in the right direction to get through the center of the corner in 1 and 2 correctly.
Same thing at 3 and 4.
It's Redeem Buescher.
And we saw Truex not use that strategy of going on the apron, and I think it's a balance between getting that angle right into turn 1.
From 6th on back, that's how the outside lane will line up for tomorrow's race. The top 5 move on to the final round. Place your bets.
It's funny.
Do you feel lucky?
They got a picture of a roulette table, and he rolled a 24 and it rolled a 99. You're on for Truex. 300 of us here. Hit that like button, y'all. See if we get to 100 likes. Because we're now in B, the B drivers. They were split up in split A and B categories. And the Group A went through the top 5. Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace move on. And then the rest will be lined up on the inside row from 11th all the way back. And then this group here, Group B, is going to run for qualifying. And the top 5 there will move into the second round. And then the back 11, the 6th through whatever, will be on the outside lane all the way back for the race. So that's how it's going to work. But Ryan Preece, after it's all said and done, you'll see that he is not going to qualify. He hit the wall in practice, so he will be dead last tonight. But what's up, everybody? If you're just coming in, my name is CeeLo. On the Go at CeeLo is the channel. We do NASCAR racing here on the channel. We've been covering the qualifying, the Xfinity, the Craftsman Truck Series, the Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series since the Daytona 500. We've had a good little run with it, so we keep it going. Can't promise I'll do this every week, but want to do it if we're available. So make sure you're hitting that like button, but most importantly, hit the subscribe button for us because we're trying to get to 10K, and we're at 9532. So our march to 10K continues in March, and hopefully we can get there pretty soon. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And right after this is over, I guess probably about an hour and a half after qualifying is over, we'll be bringing you the Xfinity race. The link is in the pin message above, so make sure you click on that and go give it a notification so you know when we go live. We should go around, I think 3:45 Central is when we'll go, or 3:30 Central, or 3:45. I can't remember which one it is, but make sure you're ready for it, and we'll have some good time. So let's go back to the audio.
Buescher fastest, the lone Ford driver against 4 Toyotas. But Group B is stacked with Chevrolets.
Boy, Ty Gibbs looks a lot younger than the rest of that group right there. It's because he is.
And Austin Cindric a lot taller. Because he is.
He's so tall.
This is Group B, yes.
You forget about that till you see him walk up and you're like, man, he's looking down
They just
on
started
me.
it this week. They didn't do it last week.
First go, John Hunter Nemechek at the ready.
They didn't do qualifying last week. Yeah, they did qualifying last week.
And J.J. Yaley was scheduled first out.
Thank you, Greg.
But, they are not going to make a qualifying attempt with that 44. So Derek Kraus making his first Cup Series start. 22-year-old from Stratford, Wisconsin. 6 Truck Series races here with the best finish of 12th.
I remember my first. Big Dave, big weekend for him. He's excited behind the wheel of this race car. Let's see what he can do with it. Look, I can roll through the
Michael Wiggers.
Full in 1 and 2.
Michael Wiggers, thanks for the subscribe.
Now, you remember your first, but in your first Cup race, did you have to make the field, or were you locked in?
We were locked in.
Okay.
Good point. Sylvania. I'll never forget that.
Kraus going to run 6 Cup races this year.
Yeah, it's all. This is new.
Is his first lap, and remember these
Zeke,
drivers
new.
are only competing
They
against
didn't
the
do
other
this for the
drivers
500.
in
They
Group
didn't do it
B.
for
5 will advance
Atlanta.
to the final round.
Well, here comes
We
Keselowski.
heard Brad talk about
James
how
Moore,
his
you're
car
here.
was loose and uncomfortable, and knowing
You
that
see
he
those
has to go out and
sixes.
commit to what he needs to do to have a fast qualifying lap, but you still see him chopping on the wheel right there, that nervous wheel going back and forth, not really knowing, feeling the grip out.
Look how hard he's holding on to it, too. You can tell by his elbows, his shoulders. He's holding on to that
So
thing.
Chris
very
George,
nervous.
you ready for tonight?
Looks like it got through, lifting a little bit there. I think it's still plenty free, but made some pretty good hay on his lap.
29.68. How's that compare to practice? He did not have a good, great practice run.
A few tenths faster. He was 29.95.
Joey Logano started front row both races in 24, but
Here's
finished
Logano.
outside the top 25 in both.
Zeke learning
This is
how to
typically
do it.
a great racetrack for Penske Racing, and especially Joey Logano. So this will be a true test to see where those Fords are with their dark horse. And you see him miss the white line a little bit there, but it doesn't seem to hurt his speed compared to Brad. But we'll have to see how that translates to the rest of the cars in this session.
Top of the board.
Logano on the
tell-all sign. I'm glad you picked up on that, Kevin. When
on the
we see
pole
a
right
car
now,
that's
in
pointed
the
down there to
top
that
5.
bottom white line, you know he's trying to wrap that thing. And if
Thanks,
he's
boy.
up off of it 2 or 3 feet, something happened there to struggle to keep the thing down. So now you just have to let it have its head a little bit, keep the momentum, not pull on that wheel too hard. Scrub speed.
Austin Dillon in the 3 looking for a big turnaround. He has completed a total of 5 laps this season prior to getting caught up in a crash in both races.
Looked tight to me. Looked like it was tight to rotate for him in 1 and 2. Still the same thing. You see him have to lift a little bit. Got it pointed a little bit better, but it came at the discipline of lifting, making sure he made his mark.
Second for Dillon.
Austin Dillon
leads the
top
Cup
5.
Series
Here's
in
Todd
laps
Gilliland.
led, 74 across both races.
Well, we saw Todd last week pretty much in the front and Daytona, but last week especially up in the front, controlling pieces of that race, and saw him have a little bit of an accident in practice, get into the outside wall a little bit here off of turn 2.
He's already been in the wall.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Once off of 2, that would be a little bit nerve-wracking coming through that corner. You know you're going to give up a little. Make sure you hit your marks and stay out of the wall.
I wonder if he has those gloves on. I doubt he does not.
7 times as many laps this season as he did in his first 72 Cup starts.
Not going to be happy with that lap.
4th. So Derek Kraus on the bubble. Here is Chase Briscoe, who was fast in practice.
Briscoe
finished 4th here 2 years ago. He has 2 Xfinity wins here.
I would say Ty Gibbs is probably the youngest. John Hunter as well.
Well, that's what you like to see right through the center of that corner through 1 and 2. That smooth wheel
Briscoe's
compared to Brad
way ahead of
Keselowski's
Cross.
wheel that was chopping all over the place, nervous.
Listen to that thing pick up with that tailwind down the backstretch. Huge pickup of momentum, was disciplined, gave up a little bit getting into the corner, prevailed up off the corner, kept it on the bottom. Good lap for Chase Briscoe.
Into the wind off turn 4, but he goes to the top of the chart.
Great lap.
Chase Briscoe, look at him.
You heard it. Solid commitment. The car answered the call.
If there's a bullseye on any driver in Las Vegas, it is Kyle Larson. 2 wins here. Top 10 in
see those
11
fives.
of his 15 starts. This has been his playground.
Where's Jamie at?
Yeah, nobody better really than him. And I'm going to add William Byron to that list. He's as dangerous as Kyle Larson now at any given racetrack. It's take your pick. Whoever wins, whoever beats who out of the last pit stop, we've seen win this race between those two. And I think you're going to see the same thing again tomorrow. Look at this. Great lap.
29-22. He pips Briscoe by 1,000th.
Ooh, Larson on the pole so far.
It's about
top
as
5.
close as our finish last week.
That's right. And all that will determine is the order in which they will qualify in round 2. Alex Bowman, also from Hendrick Motorsports. Top 3 in 2 of his last 3 races here, including his win 2 years ago.
You don't really like Kyle Larson?
Brad Keselowski on the bubble.
Now we know who got Joey's gloves. Kyle Larson. He was like, I'll take those. Look at
The
San
telemetry
Diego
showed
Kids
Bowman had a
boy,
lot more
Bowman.
speed in 3 and 4 coming to green. And Bowman will bump Keselowski by about 1/10 of a second. So we are halfway through Group B qualifying. 3 Chevys and 2 Fords in the Fast 5.
Alrighty, so Kyle Larson, Briscoe, Logano, Dillon, and Alex Bowman are all in so far. We got another half going here in Group B. So if you guys are just joining us and wondering why there's only 19 drivers ready for qualifying, what they did is when they did the practice, they split it into A and B, and whoever was they put it in those, and that's how they qualified. So the top 5 fastest from Group A move on to the second round. The top 5 fastest from Group B move into the second round. And then 6 through 19 or whatever it is, they will start on the inside line of the race on tomorrow. And Group B will start on the outside line. So that's how they set up practice and qualifying for this race. And apparently that is new because they didn't do it in Atlanta. They didn't do it in Daytona. So that's how it's going to work. So if you guys are kind of wondering why there's only 19 cars on your screen right now, that is why they did something new. And I wasn't aware of that. So I like it. What do you guys think? You like this way? Kind of helps out and makes it a little fair. And then the 5 on each side will go at it. So it's almost the same thing, but not really. Those Fords are fast. Well, yeah, but the Toyotas in the first, I'd like to compare them. I wish they had them side by side, but the Toyotas were looking really good in that first. Zeke says it's annoying. Well, but keep on hitting that like button. Y'all are trying to get to 100 likes. We're at 82, so we're 18 away from 100 likes. Let's see if we can get that. They're not doing it for the super speedways. Okay, so just the locals. Oh, CeeLo, I'm officially on my 2-week vacation. Awesome, man. Are you going to go anywhere fun, Chris? All right, so just getting everything ready for the Xfinity race. Kyle's also being super nice this season for once. It's early. Kyle Busch for the win. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We're going to be doing it tomorrow. The stream is not up yet for tomorrow, but it will be later on today. So thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get back to it. Here we go.
John Hunter Nemechek, who won a truck race here in Las Vegas in 2021, will be our next qualifier. Jamie?
Joey Logano, 3rd right now in this second group. Saw you wash up above that white line a little bit in 3 and 4. What are you fighting right now?
Probably the same as everyone else. It's pretty windy out there, and a little bit unpredictable. You can be so good in 1 and 2, and you get down in 3 and 4, and like, I think you'll be pretty good when I get here.
Appreciate you.
And just couldn't turn quite good enough to get all the way down to the bottom. So gave up some speed there. It's going to be close. I don't know if we'll make it or not on that one. This group seems to be pretty
John
fast.
Hunter in that 42.
We'll see. Hopefully, cross our fingers that the Pennzoil Mustang gets to the second round. We can work on it a little bit, get a little better.
Fruit punch.
Thanks, Joey.
Thanks.
Logano third right now in Group B.
Got a little greedy getting into 3. That tailwind hurt him.
Yeah, just like we've been talking. You go through 1 and 2 so good with that wind blowing against the right side of the car, and everything feels good. You get down to turn 3, and like, I'm going to get a little more than I got in practice, and then the next thing you know, you're up the racetrack and having to lift out of the front.
So Nemechek will not advance to the final round. Here's Harrison Burton, who finished 16th here 2 years ago. He has top 5s in trucks and Xfinity here, but they had a difficult practice session.
Sure did. Didn't make very many laps at all. Would pull out and nope, guys, that's just not it. Make another change, come back in. They did that several times. But looks like they made the correct changes and adjustments here, and old Harrison Burton's making the difference up. Wraps that bottom pretty decent there. Oh, got tight in the middle. Is going to lose it off of 4. Slipped up right there. That's where that crosswind picks up, right? You got a 65 mile an hour gust, and you pick up that crosswind. When the nose of that car hits, it takes off on you. That's exactly what I think happened for Harrison Burton.
Not very popular.
As we mentioned, top 15s in both races to start this season.
Yes. LaJoy. He's got him by half a car length.
You mentioned it. Great start to the season for Corey LaJoy. Teammates finally. Got some teammates to help us out. They're going to make a difference here. Got better capital on these race cars. Got some sponsors on them.
Yeah, he is.
Look for this team and organization to keep building momentum, and certainly Corey LaJoy can get the job done behind the wheel.
He is going to knock Alex Bowman out of the Fast 5 and move Austin Dillon onto the hot seat.
Great lap.
That is a great lap by Corey LaJoy.
24.
William Byron, Daytona 500 champ, has 3 wins and 3 poles on 1.5-mile tracks. New sponsor for Byron this week.
If anybody can keep Kyle Larson honest at a racetrack like Las Vegas, it's this boy.
Well, you see right off the bat, he just had more speed going into turn 1 than Austin Dillon, who is the shadow car there, and down the back straightaway. And now it's all about the timing of getting that car to turn and how much throttle can I keep down and still keep the car pointed in the right direction. But just like Kyle Larson, that thing just looks like it's pointed in a better direction.
Certainly did. We'll have to see where the lap posts, but it looked good down there.
Top of the chart.
Wow.
And that will
look at that, 24.
Out of the Fast 5. And Byron, Larry says, did not have to get out of the throttle coming through 3 and 4 to complete his lap.
Those two are the heat when it comes to the same. We saw it last year, and they are not changing that one bit. Kenneth. I want to see Chase Elliott see if he can match their speed.
See those
Big
9s in the chat
this weekend.
Didn't run this race last year. Was the first one he missed after his snowboarding accident during the West Coast swing.
See that same rotation. You can just tell those cars point better in the middle of the corner.
Corey LaJoy on the bubble.
Like he had to breathe it a little bit to keep it down in 3 and 4.
Good enough for 5th fastest right now. Still 3 Chevys, 2 Fords in the Fast 5. And LaJoy will go to the garage. Ricky Stenhouse.
There was Ricky Stenhouse
finished
Jr.
3rd here in 2020. Won the Xfinity race here in 2012. Coming off a 6th place run in Atlanta.
Keep on gambling, Zeke. The more and more you get, the more points you get.
Got that turn back down the hill. A little late turn in. Seems like he had to follow suit with the throttle as well.
It's a pretty good 3 and 4 right there, Clint. Made up a little of the time that he lost.
Yes, he did.
Coming back, but runs out of time, and Stenhouse is 6th by
just
6/100ths.
I think that was discipline, Kevin. And
What's up, CJ?
I think Ricky Stenhouse is getting better at that.
It's Redeem Rowdy.
Remember racing Ricky Stenhouse.
Redeem
one thing
Rowdy.
I can count on is he get it all getting into the corner. You knew when you drove off in the corner, absolutely do not try to match his speed because he's going to beat you getting in. And if you play your cards right, you can lift a little bit early and have an opportunity to turn under him. That was good discipline that I've seen Ricky Stenhouse learn.
Close battle here for the final spot. Austin Cindric, who last week at Atlanta, most laps he'd ever led in a Cup race, 32 of them. Looks like he's going to...
Whoa, used it all up on the exit.
Ooh,
he left his foot in it.
Cindric gets in.
But kept it down.
Look at Cindric.
That was
knocks
gutsy
old
right
Chase
there.
out.
That was gutsy, and he just started to get a little bit tight. And like you say, he just left his foot down and left himself about
Look to me
6-8 inches.
I wouldn't want to put my hand in between
it. Was close.
All right, 2 cars to go. So Byron, Larson, and Briscoe are locked into the Fast 5. Las Vegas' own Kyle Busch, winner in all 3 series here.
See those 8s.
And the point leader.
Rowdy.
Against Joey Logano for this final bump spot.
On the side of that car says bet. I'd bet on this boy. He's been bad fast this year. Hungry out there. Putting a show on for us.
Well, it doesn't look like he's going to make the top 5 in this group, and it just all came from the up to speed, and the speed going into turn 1 was just not what Joey Logano had. And that's going to carry all the way around the racetrack.
Going to have some work to do tomorrow for sure.
Right behind his teammate Austin Dillon, 10th for Kyle Busch. So 1 to go. Cindric is locked in. It's, well, Logano against Blaney, the Penske teammates. Ryan Blaney.
Here's your Blaney.
5 times a 5th place finisher here. Runner up in Atlanta by the thinnest of margins.
Keep hitting that subscribe, y'all. 1 more to 100.
Got it turned down the hill early, Kevin, like you were speaking of before. It didn't seem like he was able to keep it down. Yeah. Moreover, keep the throttle in it.
Well, it looks a little bit tighter than Joey's car. See him lift a little bit sooner down here trying to get back into the throttle. But definitely,
Logano's just a little faster.
Man, that was close. Definitely a little bit tighter on both ends.
Yep.
Blaney is 8th. So you look from 6th on down. That is how they are going to line up on the inside lane.
Oh, inside.
For the start of the race tomorrow, while the top 5 move on to the final round to run for the Busch Light pole.
Alrighty, so we are done with stage A and B. Now we're going to move into the second round, which is the top 10, and they're going to fight for the pole. So hope you guys are having a good time. There we have your 100. Thank you so much, guys. 100 likes, over 500 watching. We appreciate you being here. And my name is CeeLo. If you're new to us, we appreciate you being here. We do NASCAR here on the channel. We've been doing it since Speed Weeks. So far, we've brought you every type of, other than truck qualifying and practice and Xfinity qualifying and practice, we brought you pretty much every race this season so far. So I hope you guys are enjoying the channel. We've gained so many new friends, so many new channel members, so many new subscribers, and just so much fun sitting here in the chat with you guys. Our NASCAR community is amazing. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to go to the second round now. Byron, he looked fast, didn't he? So we'll see how these Toyotas do qualifying with these Fords and Chevys. But William Byron, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, and Joey Logano move on to the second round. Everybody else will line up on the inside from 6 down to 19 on the inside rows for the race tomorrow for the Pennzoil 400 in Vegas. So thank you guys for the 100 likes. Thank you for the new subscribers. Appreciate everybody helping us out today on a qualifying stream, which is crazy. So coming up right after this, probably about an hour afterwards. So it is a 2:30. So probably almost, I don't know how long this will take to do 10 people, but we'll have a poll. And then on an hour probably after this ends, we'll be back live again for the Xfinity Series. And thank you, Timmy, for subscribing. So we'll have about an hour break, and then we'll see you in an hour for the Xfinity Series. We'll do that play-by-play. Same way this concept with the leaderboard and everything. We'll actually have in-car cameras. They usually have a couple for the Xfinity race for in-car cameras, so we'll be showing those as well. We'll be showing cautions, replays, maybe some starts, but we'll let you listen to the audio off of SS1. So thank you guys so much, and let's go back to the audio here in just a second. But thank you guys again. Appreciate it. No, yeah, it's been something new.
You want Mike Joy to call most of the last lap because
Thank you, Nancy.
nobody really wants to hear us call the last lap. Mike does a much better job at that. And Clint got so excited and so jacked up, and it was just, that was all natural Clint. And he was going crazy, and I put my arm around him because I kind of got it. I'm like, oh, this is pretty exciting. And he's making me excited, and I didn't want to get in the middle of those two talking, so I just kind of let it all play out and watch the end of the race.
Well, thanks for leaving me room there. Join Kevin every Tuesday and Thursday for NASCAR's #1 on the charts podcast. Great guests, biggest name in sports and entertainment. Happy Hour, presented by NASCAR on Fox Tuesdays and Thursdays. Thank you. I had a double clutch about 3 times to call, to actually get those cars to the line, but
I was trying to keep Clint on his side of the booth because he doesn't like when I block him like this. So I'm the blocker in this situation, but it was one of the most exciting finishes that I've obviously ever witnessed up there, or even in general. And to hear you guys call that, I was glad to be a race fan just sitting back and listening. So.
Well, it's just the sheer excitement of it, right? It was an exciting moment in NASCAR, and I was so happy for everybody involved. You knew the runs. The run was coming. You could feel the energy coming off of 3. We called it getting in. Kyle Busch made that awesome move to squirt that middle on those guys and pounce on that lead moment. And then you said it, Kevin. As soon as Bubba Wallace moved up and blocked Austin Cindric's lane, it was a 3-horse battle, and Mike was all over it.
Look at that. You had a little Big Brother moment there.
That was honestly... I think he was holding me down, and it was probably warranted. I was going through the window. I was so happy for these guys, so excited, and nobody knew who won. I thought Blaney had it. I really did.
Yeah, it was, right?
Boy, I was wrong.
You said as much. Yes. Kyle should have stuck his tongue out.
Right. I mean, and the other thing is we had the perfect spot. There was not a better seat in the house. It was glancing right over the top of that TV screen, and I saw the front of those hoods looking down on it. Reminded you of cars, man. It's just if he had a tongue on him, he could have won that thing, right?
Lightning McQueen.
We need a tether. We need a tether for him.
We'll get one. And we're going to run for the Busch Light Pole next year, the 10 drivers that advance to the final round here in Las Vegas.
All right, so coming up here is the second round of the but we all appreciate all the likes and the new followers. That's right, Chris. Why didn't JJ and Haley make a qualifying run? JJ had a something. They failed inspection twice. I don't know about Haley, but I knew Priest, he smacked the wall in practice. So that's why he did not qualify either. So Haley, he had something illegal on the car, failed inspection twice. They actually got rid of the crew chief. He's been suspended. So it must have been something major that they failed the inspection twice. And then Justin Haley, I'm not sure. I can't remember what he said. So who was Q7 for tonight? I think. Let me see who it is. One second here. Why? All these right here. I think that's all of them. Oh, there's more than that. Super windy today in Vegas. 50 plus mile an hour. I live like 5 miles from the speedway. Yeah, pretty bad. They look great going into turn 1 and 2, but then they get to 3 and 4. They really feel it. So a lot of guys having some issues. That's where I think Priest wrecked as well. Holy crap, that's bad for a crew chief to get suspended at qualifying. Yeah, he had they failed inspection twice, so that's not good. Braves won 6-2. Yeah, it's spring training. I actually this morning, instead of live streaming it, I got the setup for us, so it's gonna look really good. I have it. It's gonna look good. It's gonna be timed with the. I got it where I'm using both ESPN and MLB stuff. back and forth. So it's going to look good when we do them. I just want to have it right before we do it. Plus, it's spring training, so. But we'll be doing Atlanta Braves play-by-play at least when it comes summertime and spring here. Got a lot of stuff here in March, so probably won't do much spring training, but we got a lot of stuff going on. But when it becomes just baseball season and NASCAR, it'll be baseball during the week, NASCAR on the weekends, and that's all we'll have going. So we hope you guys stick around. Yes, I'm a Braves fan. Yes, I am a big Braves fan. Look. Wearing my Braves shirt. Last weekend I was wearing my Braves hat during the Xfinity race and the truck race. So, big Braves fan. Are you a vet? No, sir. I am not. We do honor all the vets, though. We appreciate. You're a Padres fan, John? Awesome. Yeah, so baseball season is here, man. Through DoorDash? Nice. What kind did you go? Papa John's, Pizza Hut, Domino's, a local pizza place? Where'd you get? Little Caesars? What'd you get? You too, bro. Awesome, Jerome. So yeah, definitely check out our play-by-play, man. We do a lot. We have a huge Braves community. So here we go.
To qualify the final round in Las Vegas on a very windy day. Here's Jamie Little.
Well, we talk about when Kyle Larson comes to Las Vegas, he's always one that you got to keep your eye on. And Kyle, you won this race in the fall, but now qualifying and these wins, anything that you want differently for this second round?
Zeke. That's funny.
Yeah, I hope we can go a little faster here. I felt really good. I think there's still room for me to get speed, coming to the green, some shape into 3. All that should help. Hopefully some adjustments in the race car will make me turn just a little bit better to just carry more speed. So all in all, just happy with the speed in our HendrickCars.com Chevrolet, and so we can go a little bit faster than our teammate. He's always really good here qualifying, and would be nice to edge him out.
Oh, no.
Listen how calm he is. That kid is fixing to go out and put on a lap that is on the edge of out of control, right? And
there's out of control.
Toyotas.
The wind's out of control.
Speaking of that, I walked outside. I ducked my head out just to see, and about blew me off the roof. It is unbelievable how hard the wind's blowing out here. Hard to show. You see the flags and stuff like that, but until you feel it. I mean, at home, we all know what a 55-mile-an-hour gust of wind is. That is extreme, to say the least.
I'll blow your beer right over.
Out in a couple weeks.
You never let go of your beer, Mike. That's a rookie.
I am not a road course fan. I am not.
The fact that you are from
Kyle Larson
Kansas,
for the win. That's pretty good pick. What's up, G?
Tuesday.
What the wind feels like.
Yes, Dorothy.
Yes. So here's what the drivers are going
Let's
through.
go, Mets. Williams
You know
says.
what you had in the first round.
No more watching.
You know that
you a Brave fan. That's all good.
They're going to tell you that the wind has picked up
get it.
X amount of miles an hour. How hard can you drive it in turn 3? You know how you came to the green. If you weren't one of the drivers that came to the green wide open, you're probably going to give that a whirl this time. Coming to the green and try to get that speed coming to the start-finish line. So, as we heard Kyle talk, you got to make a few adjustments. He doesn't like the shape of his arc into turn 3. He feels like he could get to the green a little bit better. So it's going to be interesting to see what that fast speed is and who can make the small adjustments, because it's going to come down to hundredths of a second to get this pole probably.
Because of the wind, we have crude graphics to show you. There's 4 Toyotas, then there's 4 Fords, and then there's 2 Chevys in this final qualifying round.
Well, what does that show you? The reason the Toyotas are first, they were the slow. We need to pick us some speed up, find our speed in our Camrys. Look at the debris up there on the top of the racetrack.
So the order in the final round is not set by the qualifying metric. It is set by speed, slowest to fastest, among those 10, not 5 and 5 from the A and B round. All 10 drivers ranked by speed. No, that's not right.
Well, we already
picked debris up on the front of this car.
Yes.
That'll affect the handling of this. A lot of times it'll make you freer, Kevin.
Well, in these cars, they actually have the blocker plate that you can adjust behind the radiator, and that's how much air you can get into the front of the car. But anything on the grill is going to be okay.
It might just help this thing. If he was tight a little bit, it's certainly going to help. Probably help turn in this race car.
Well, as everybody else goes out on the racetrack, they're going to have that opportunity to pick up some trash as well.
That is not a pickup. Run a 39 in practice to a 48 right there.
So 9/100 slower.
A lot more wind. The wind is picked up, folks. Let's see if this follows. Everybody is affected by that in a slower manner.
Bubba.
Bubba Wallace was 29.38 in round 1.
Where's that going to affect you this wind?
Yeah, Ty Gibbs is in
When
this.
you pick up that tailwind down the backstretch, it is going to blow you down there. A gust of wind, you're going to get off in the corner, maybe 10, 15 mile an hour faster depending on the gust.
Yeah, and you have to get down into turn 3 and 4 and be able to rotate that car just as Bubba Wallace did right there. He was able to get his car rotated and carry more throttle than Martin Truex right there through the middle of 3 and 4.
Discipline getting in. He gave up a little bit getting in, took advantage of that tailwind, and then got it turned down, went to the throttle.
Told you I'd do it for you,
off
bud.
on the exit.
And Wallace is only 2/100 slower than his first round time as Christopher Bell rolls out for round 2.
Christopher Bell and his team did a great job last year every time, for the most part, that it came to qualifying, and see him a little bit behind coming into first corner here compared to Bubba Wallace. And let's not forget, Clint, his car definitely looks tight. And let's not forget these tires have 1 lap on them, a cycle on the tires. And usually here at Vegas, they're faster on sticker tires.
So Wallace just a little faster than Christopher Bell, about 2 car lengths faster.
In the final round, we run 5th through 1st in Group A, then 5th through 1st in Group B, and that's done so each group has relatively the same amount of cool down time. Christopher Bell, 29.58. That's 0.2 slower than round 1.
Yeah, I think all that was down the point. You know, you
Ty
saw the
Gibbs.
car pointed in the wrong
Let's
direction.
see those
The center of the corner
54s.
front end just did not look like it was pointing for him. Couldn't get to the throttle, turn it back down the hill. Same case right there. You see the difference between Bubba Wallace's car. That thing is pointed down in the right direction, carries more momentum. That enables you to get to the throttle and more of a keep it, you know, down to the floor where the other guys have to lift.
Ty Gibbs will be the 4th and final Toyota to run here in the final round, and he is 3rd.
Those cars just don't look like they want to change directions quite as good as they need them to.
Well, and everybody that goes is going to have the intel to say, hey, the speeds aren't as fast, so you don't need to try to go faster. You need to try to repeat what you did in the first round instead of trying to pick up speed.
So Chris Buescher, fastest in Group A, 5th overall in first round speed.
See what he can do here. Bubba's still on the pole.
Same thing. Bubba just rolled that middle better. Car pointed for him. Was able to keep the throttle down.
Buescher was 29.33 in round 1. And this is looking like the mid-40s here.
Got tight on the exit. Had to lift again right there.
Ooh, 29.52.
Ooh, he's still there.
How much of this is wind?
Could Bubba do this?
5 cars left to go for the pole.
All right, 5 cars left. So if you guys are just joining us, so they did a new procedure for qualifying. So they did, everybody practiced a Group A, Group B. And they qualified all in the Group A first. And then they all qualified in Group B. So each group would have a time to calm down for the next ride. So the top 5 fastest from Group A moved on to the second round. 6 through whatever are going to start on the outside line all the way back tomorrow's race. Group B, the top 5 moved on. And the 6 through whatever are going to start on the inside lane tomorrow. Now, these guys here will start 1 through 10. And right now, Bubba Wallace is on the pole. So it's something new. What's up, Mosh? Make sure you check out my man, Mosh Racing. He's been trying his best at his racing series. Make sure you check out my man, Mosh. He's doing it every Thursday night. He's racing in the NRSA. Is the NRSA? Is that it? What is it? NSA? I can't remember what it's called. You ready for the Xfinity race? Yes, we are. We are ready. What do you think of this new qualifying thing, Mosh? Viper, what's up? INRS. I knew it was something like that. The INRS. Make sure you check that out on Thursday nights. The 96 Chevrolet. He's going to Phoenix next week. See what he can do. He was running good at Vegas here, but then got some crazy people plowing in the back of him, and then it just turned into a wreck fest. It looked like the truck race. But what's up, everybody? Make sure you're hitting that like button and subscribing. We're over 100 likes. And see if we can get to 9,600 today after the Xfinity race. You hate Phoenix, maybe don't watch next week. Yep. Good old Phoenix. Thank you for subscribing. Ghosty Sweats, thank you for that. Appreciate you. Al said, just checked in to see Bubba has speed. I see Reddick didn't advance. Does anyone know his speed and where he is in the field? I'll have to check. Let me go back here and look. I'll check, rewind here. Reddick, he wasn't in the B, so let's see here.
Qualify, here's who's left to go. Bubba Wallace is fastest right now, trying to give his crew chief, Booty Barker, a birthday present. The pole for tomorrow's race.
Booty Barker.
Well, the biggest thing, and you were all over it, Kevin, what he did that others did.
He was fourth fastest.
I mean, he did run a 38, but a 40 was pretty much doing that. And
or eighth fastest, so he's going to start.
And a lot of times you get slower because of trying to go faster, and that means you try to drive
fastest in his group.
You have to wait on the throttle because it pushes. But we see Logano get to the green and into turn one with more mile per hour and just carry it all the way through turns 1 and 2. So now we're going to see if he can stay disciplined and be able to get that car rotated to the center of 3 and 4.
Don't overdrive this entry here in 3. Get it to the bottom. It's like she slid a little bit on him. Had to get out of the gas a little bit.
Thank you, Winter Fire.
Comes off low, and it's going to drive off into the sunset. Good lap for Joey Logano.
To the top, 29.29 for Logano. That is 5/100ths of a second faster than round 1.
Well, he told us in that interview when she was talking to him, he said, I think there's some more out there for me. I have to make an adjustment inside this race car. Was looking at data, found it, made good use of it.
Mosh, what's up with the Chevrolet?
Fun day in Atlanta. That car had a lot of speed, and he made some bold moves with it.
And he has come to the green really well. We saw his car bottom out on the top lane up there. And
got tight on exit, had to lift a little bit there.
There you go, Matt. That's fun. There's lots of drivers to choose from.
On exit.
And Austin Cindric knocks Bubba Wallace off the front row with a 29.33.
And going to be all Penske front row.
It's off of what he ran in round 1, so no birthday front row for Booty.
What he did do a good job of is coming to the green. He checked that box bigger than he did before. Better than anybody out there. Overdrove the center a little bit in 1 and 2, paid the price.
Chase Briscoe for Stewart Haas.
A lot of commitment out of that throttle.
Yeah, and you saw
had to lift.
Chase was a little shallow getting into the corner and a little lower all the way through the corner.
All right. There's Cindric.
This won't quite hold from the center out. Both ends of the racetrack for him. That's going to be the difference.
Yep, Briscoe.
29.43 for Briscoe. That is 2/10 slower than round 1. Now it's down to the 2 Chevrolets. Can they knock one or both of the 2 Fords off the front row here? Kyle Larson.
Well, we heard Kyle Larson say he wanted to come to the green better, and we see him coming to the green, and we'll get these ghost cars up.
The other thing that he wanted to do better is a little bit more arc into 3.
There you go, Larson. Let me see those 5s. There's Jamie.
Larson's first round, 29.22.
It's all going to come down to turn 3. He said he wanted to make an adjustment. Let's see if the adjustment will pay off for him.
It's getting faster.
Rolled the center better, but I don't think he can keep it down.
Nope.
It's going to be close, guys.
Second for Larson, 29.31. 9/100ths slower than round 1.
See if the 24 can do it.
Austin Cindric off the front row, and here is William Byron. 29.19 in round 1. If he can come within a 1/10 of that, he'll win the pole.
And William Byron pulled his car a little bit lower off the exit of turn 4 and was able to get all the way down to the apron, but still behind Joey Logano a little bit, coming with his speed into turn 1.
didn't seem like it rolled the speed in the middle of 1 and 2. You see that momentum lost down the backstretch.
Not going to get it.
3 and 4. It's got it down to the bottom, carrying a little bit more speed through the center. I don't know that it's going to be enough. Logano's guys like it.
Byron is 4th. Joey Logano has his 2nd pole of the season.
On the front row 3 weeks in a row.
30th career pole. Jamie.
And Joey Logano, 3rd pole here at Las Vegas, the Pennzoil driver, the Pennzoil 400 for tomorrow. Joey, you talked about making some adjustments. How disciplined did you have to be, and what kind of adjustments did you make on that 2nd round?
Paul got her tuned up for me pretty good. I didn't think that was going to be enough because the 2nd round just feels different, right? And you're in the car and you're like, it's not going to be good enough, but the tires fall off a little bit.
Let's go.
It's always important to start up front in a Pennzoil 400, and we got that with our Mustang today. So that's front row every start so far this year. So I'm proud of this race team, proud of what everyone's effort. And obviously when you bring a new Mustang to the racetrack, you're always a little bit uncertain of what it's going to be, and a lot to learn, obviously, with the Dark Horse Mustang as well right now. But so far, so good in qualifying.
Well, in practice, 20 minutes. It was a little concerning for all the Team Penske drivers. You guys were down on the charts. What do you need out of your race car, knowing what it takes to win this race tomorrow?
Yeah, I actually think it's pretty good on the long run. We went back out our 2nd run, and we were really good, so I felt good about that part. Our fire-off speed isn't the fastest, so we'll take a look at it tonight and see if we can find anything that gets you going a little bit quicker. Clean air always helps that, though, so we're going to be there
at 3:45 Central.
Joey Logano going for his 4th win here at Las Vegas, Mike.
And he's the pole winner 2 years in a row for this race. It's a Ford Chevy front row. Joey Logano and Kyle Larson will start on the front row tomorrow. By the way, Logano
sponsor of the race gets the
will
ball
be in the booth for today's Xfinity race on FS1 with Adam Alexander. We'll be right back.
All right, so Joey Logano on the pole, the Pennzoil 400. Good job, man. Thanks for doing this. You're welcome, Al. We'll try to do it every week. We'll see how it goes. Can't promise every week. We've got stuff maybe going on, whatever, but when I'm available, we'll bring it to you. So thank you. It's been working really well for the channel. It's been helping us out. Y'all tuning in and watching along with us. So thank you so much, guys. Remember, y'all, in the pin message above you on the chat, or below you, or wherever it's at on where you're watching. I think if you have it sideways on your phone, it's over here to the other side. But make sure you check out the link for the Xfinity race. We'll be coming back here at 3:45 Central to bring you live coverage of the Xfinity race. Should be fun. So ready to bring it to you guys. We'll have in-car cameras. We'll have leaderboard, the audio from the FS1, all the good stuff for you guys. So make sure you're there. Go over and hit the like button already, so we'll be up on our 100 likes before you know. But 140 likes, and we had almost 600 people in here, and the pizza has arrived. Also, I'm going to get something to eat too while we're off. So listen, maybe another interview, and then we'll call it a day. But race day will be coming on here at 3 o'clock. I'll be back on at 3:45, and we will see you then very shortly. But Joey Logano, Kyle Larson, and then tomorrow, make sure you're looking for our stream. It's not up yet. It'll be on there too. So we'll be doing the Pennzoil 400.
Joey Logano has won the pole for tomorrow's Pennzoil 400, and Kyle Larson will start alongside Jamie.
Yeah, great qualifying effort for Kyle Larson. So close again, just can't get that pole. But now we face tomorrow, the race here once again. You're going to be a threat. How was the race car, and what are you expecting?
Yeah, I'm happy to be on the front row again. Would like to be on the pole, but my race car in practice felt really good. I felt like we were one of the top 2 or 3 best cars of our set. I don't know how you compare to the Group A guys, but yeah, I felt good about it. Felt normal. The wind was definitely a factor for balance, like off of 2 and into 3, but I think it's gonna be a little less windy tomorrow, so hopefully things will feel a bit more normal. But yeah, we'll see. Congrats to the 22, and yeah, we needed just a little bit. I'd like to get a pole here, but we'll take front row.
All right, Kyle Larson, 2nd for tomorrow's race.
That was a howling.
Let's have a look at the starting lineup for tomorrow's race. There are your top 10 that just ran for the Busch Light pole. Ford Chevy front row, the first Toyota, Bubba Wallace back in 5th.
Well, I want to see Joey Logano turn this into something tomorrow. We've seen him control these races and starting up front, and now they need some points to get things going.
And according to the new procedure, the outside lane are the Group A drivers, the inside lane, the Group B drivers from 6th on back, starting on row 6. That would be Elliott and McDowell. And we should mention that Justin Haley had steering issues, so he did not make the qualifying pass.
There you go, Justin Haley, steering issues. What's up, Center Hill?
Got some big names back here. Denny Hamlin, row 14. Yes, Kyle Busch, we've seen the start of his season, row 11.
No, not the prime.
Keep an eye on him. Those guys got work to do.
Todd Gillen and Ryan Preece both had trouble in practice. Got into the wall. Ryan Preece probably going to a backup car, I would assume. Todd Gillen fixed his and came back out to qualify.
So Joey Logano is the first driver since 2000 to start the first 3 races of the year on the front row. Who was that driver? Ricky Rudd.
Ricky Rudd.
Tonight on FS1, the Australian National
Rugby
League
Rudd.
beginning at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And coming up on FS1, the NASCAR Xfinity Series race day, followed by the Xfinity Series race with tomorrow's pole sitter, Joey Logano and Austin Cindric, joining Adam Alexander in the broadcast booth. So stay tuned for that on a very windy day in the Nevada desert, where Joey Logano has won the pole for the Pennzoil 400.
Alrighty, so. All right, y'all. So there is qualifying for the Pennzoil 400. Congratulations, Joey Logano, for being on the pole 3 weeks in a row now on the front row. And like he just said, Mike Joy just said, the first time someone's been on the front row 3 weeks in a row since Ricky Rudd. Wow, that's been a while. So hope you guys enjoyed qualifying. We'd love to bring it to you guys. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and hitting that like button for us. Thank you. We got almost 150 likes. And we'll see you in about 45 minutes or so. See, those are going to go take a break. And then we'll bring you that Xfinity race. Make sure the pin message that is on the chat right now is for the stream. So make sure you go over there and hang out and wait. Give it a like button before you can. And consider subscribing and hitting the like button and becoming a member. I'm going to go reset all the emojis for the Xfinity race. So hope you guys are ready. We'll see you in about 45. Thanks for all the new members. Ty, Winterfire, oh man, a whole bunch of them. Ghosty Sweats, Tony Rocco, Nancy Curley, Timmy Jeshope, Catherine, Alan, Michael, Greg over on Facebook, Donald Trump even liked the stream on Facebook, Ted Parsons, Scott Kimball, Bram Kusi, Patrick, Kyle Bush fan, David Johnson, Matt Weirs, Lynn, and a whole bunch of other folks subscribing. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you in about 45 minutes. Congratulations, Joey Logano. Congratulations to the Joey Logano fans. And we'll see you in 45.